Let's resin. Let's fun. Hi everyone. Are you curious about how to get rid of bubbles in silicone rubber, or how to build a budget-friendly mold box, or how to make your silicone molds last longer? You're not alone. We've collected the most common questions from fellow creators, and we're here with all the answers. So let's get started.
A tip for making two-part silicone molds.
Another tip when making two-part silicone molds. These are designed to fit tightly together, so we recommend applying a release agent or a thin layer of Vaseline, which can help with smooth demolding and will protect the mold from damage.
How to remove bubbles in the silicone rubber.
After mixing the silicone rubber in a 1-to-1 weight ratio, use a bubble remover machine to eliminate air bubbles. When pouring into the mold housing, keep the pouring height lower and pour slowly to minimize producing micro bubbles. If bubbles appear along the edges of the master mold, gently squeeze or tap the sides to bring them to the surface, then blow them away or pick them out with a stick. What types of mold require cutting? When dealing with a one-piece master mold that has a certain height or intricate details, cutting open the top part of the silicone mold can help prevent damage to both the silicone rubber and the master mold. This technique not only makes it easier to demold the master mold and the finished resin product, but also helps extend the mold surface life.
A tip for trimming the mold.
To trim the mold, begin by carefully removing the master mold. Gently lift the excess silicone with one hand while using the trimming tool from the Let's Resin Silicone Rubber Kit with the other hand. Quickly and neatly remove any excess along the edges. This will ensure your mold has a smooth and clean finish.
Tips for defoaming without a bubble remover machine or defoaming agent.
If you don't have a bubble remover or defoaming agent, here's an easy method you can try. When the temperature is 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius, the silicone cures normally in about 4 to 6 hours, and bubbles usually rise and pop on their own within 15 to 20 minutes. If your room is warmer and you want to slow down curing for better bubble release, you can use the refrigerator to help. Here's how. First, refrigerate the silicone before mixing. For low viscosity types like 0A and 10A, refrigerate for about 30 minutes before and after mixing. For thicker types like 15A and 20A or 30A, refrigerate for 1 to 2 hours before mixing and again for 1 hour after. Here are some important tips. Cover the silicone in the refrigerator and keep an eye on the surface bubbles, but don't refrigerate too long or condensation may form. Make sure the fridge stays above 41 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius. If it's too cold, it could prevent the silicone from curing properly. The curing time of silicone under different temperature conditions. Our product is platinum silicone rubber, and at a room temperature of 77 degrees Fahrenheit or 25 degrees Celsius, the working time is typically 30 to 40 minutes, and the curing time is about 4 to 6 hours. For every 5 degrees Celsius increase in temperature, both the working time and the curing time are roughly cut in half. For example, at 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 30 degrees Celsius, the curing time may be reduced to 1.5 to 3 hours. However, as we mentioned before, there may be bubble issues when working at high temperatures. For every 5 degrees Celsius decrease in temperature, the curing time doubles. For instance, at 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius, the curing time may extend to 6 to 8 hours. Durability test of the silicone mold. If a silicone mold isn't properly cleaned, maintained, or stored away from sunlight, it may begin to show a slight white discoloration after around 5 uses. By the 10th to 15th use, the surface finish can degrade noticeably, affecting the appearance of your finished pieces. After about 20 uses, the mold may start tearing and become unusable for reproducing your original design. This wear and tear happens because with repeated use, especially with materials like resin, casting powder, or clay, they can leave tiny particles on the mold surface. Over time, friction and residue buildup reduces the mold's smooth finish. If a release agent isn't used during demolding, the leftover material can speed up the aging process even more. Proper care and cleaning after each use, along with storing the mold in a cool, shaded place, can help extend its lifespan significantly. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. The information above addresses some recent feedback we've received. If you have any more questions or suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time.